How you doing, guys? Welcome to Monsters and Mazes. I'm your host, Mr. No One. Okay, it has been a really long time since I've uploaded any videos, much less anything else. Uh, Unfortunately, life kind of got in the way of all that. Anyway, but here we are, and my goal is to kind of get on a regular schedule. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That doesn't mean I haven't participated in Dungeon23. I have. We're at week, what is it? 13. So I'm still working on it as far as the notebook is concerned, and of course, building the dungeon as a whole. Anyway, okay. Quick recap. The adventurers managed to get through the first part of the dungeon mostly unscathed, not so much. But anyway, they have made it to to what would be week 2 as far as the dungeon is concerned. As you can see, it's already still laid out. I haven't really changed anything. And they were in pretty much the enormous chamber with tons of cobwebs, floor to ceiling. They met a group of mycelians here. One of them was stuck. They helped them out and lit it ablaze. They ended up finding a couple of canisters, like pretty good size bits of pottery, and turned out that it was also the nesting place of some centipedes, giant centipedes, of course. And they didn't take too kindly to being mildly roasted. They attacked the party, and it turned out that the cleric, and I believe, if I remember correctly, the fighter, if I remember correctly, don't get me wrong, it's been a minute, were both poisoned. The poison pretty much incapacitates them for approximately 10 days. So they spent 10 days in the village, resting, recuperating. During that time, both the cleric and the thief managed to level up. Of course, for the experience points, it's primarily treasure based, so it's 1 gold piece equals 1 XP. So they managed to actually do that. The fighter is almost there. The elf, not so much. About halfway. That's really it. All right. So we find ourselves back in the chamber, and we have 2 possible exits. Right. 2 passageways that they can choose from. So what we're going to do is, on the die, we are going to make that determination. A lot of that's pretty much what we're going to be doing as far as directions are concerned. Even if it logically fits that they go a specific direction, I'm not entirely sure, so I'm going to let the dice decide. Right? Now that we've gotten all that ready. They do have retainers. Those retainers, however, are not currently with them. They are currently at the camp at the surface where the ruins are, guarding against possible intrusion by wandering monsters. That, and they're 0 level humans, so that's pretty much why they're not really joining them. They'd be dead real quick. Okay, so they weren't gonna go down the hole, all right, so here's how it works. We're going to do the further passage is going to be 51 to 100. That means the closer passage is going to be 1 to 50. We'll see which one they choose. Could be good, could be bad. We'll find out. All right, the further passage it is. We got 88 on the roll. All right, so we are going to. The thief is going to he's got the better hit points now, which is really nice. But what he's going to do is they're going to take their time. They've learned. Torches at the ready, all that kind of fun stuff. The cleric has prayed for healing, and they have, of course, gotten cure light wounds. That is what we're going with. So we are going to make our way down. Now, they aren't going to be going down these passages relatively slowly. They're going to sit there and make sure to check for it, check for traps, check for, all this kind of stuff. So that's going to take time. And they can move for every 10 minutes or for every turn. They're able to move their normal rate. So most of these guys are going about, I think, 60 to 90. So it's not much of an issue going down the passageways. It's only going to get really important whenever they're slowed down for whatever reason. All right, either way, they make it into this chamber. All right, this is chamber B. What looks to be like a large pile of bones of a very, very large creature. The head is basically pointing towards entrance, and it's kind of obvious that these are the bones of a dragon. The actual it's crystal covered, so you have this these like amethyst crystals covering this what looks to be a bone white material. Don't know exactly what it would be, but that's fine. Upon entering the chamber, these guys, nothing really happens, it's just there. So at this point in time, they're going to inspect it. They're going to spend quite a while in here. It's a fairly large chamber, so it's going to take a bit of time to look around. Nothing seems to be untoward. And what we're going to do is we're going to determine how many turns they're going to take. We'll go D6. It's good. Well, no. It's a pretty good sized chamber. So in reality, it's going to take several turns. That's fine. Am I gonna? Yep. Okay. Well, I was going to say that they could just skirt around it, but nope. They're going to spend at least 4 turns. Now that also means that I get to roll 2 D6 for wandering monsters. I don't know if you can see this, but I rolled 2 1s. Now for the wandering monsters, I'm going to roll 2 D6. And I have the encounters right here. Wandering monsters, we have spiders, and we have killer bee. Good deal. Killer bee. Love the killer bees. All right. So for the spiders, we're going to go ahead, and these are the crab spiders. 1d4. And 3 of them. Okay. And they're going to be, let's see now, they will be 70 feet away. I've got some cardinal directions to play with, so I'm going to do a D8. North is this way, actually, so north is that way. Oh, actually, no. Yes. There we go. All right. So which direction are they going to come from? They're going to come from that way. Actually, no. Actually, they will be coming from the north. They'll be coming from over here. All right. That's kind of fortunate for them because there's actually there's portcullis there. So we will put the spiders. We'll put them right here. All right. There are 3 of them there. We will use our 3rd one. I don't have 3, so they're actually not going to be able to get in there because the portcullis are down. So it's fortunate for these guys; they don't have to worry about that. Now, for the second one was the killer bee. Killer bee. All right, where are we going, killer bees? We got cardinal points. Let's see now. We'll put them over here. Why not? All right. It's going to be. Oh yeah, how many killer bees? It's supposed to be a D10. I may have to switch out this little icon. It's only 1. Okay, so we'll put the 1 in here. Actually, yeah. No, that makes sense. I rolled that 80, so that makes sense. We have no idea where it came from. Killer bees from outer space. It's the thought. Okay, so there's nothing. The spiders are trapped. They can't do anything. That's fine. They're still on the list. So there's always a possibility they may be trying to get here or they came from somewhere else because I do have some of these areas that connect. Um, those are the actual crowd spiders are actually very, very frequent throughout the dungeon. Not entirely sure why, but they are. Okay. What do we do? All right. So we spent some time in here. By the third round, they were supposed to be only being here for about 4 rounds. 4 turns. And what happens after the third turn, the bones begin to coalesce, right? They start linking back together again and forming, of course, a very large crystal covered skeletal dragon. All right. Now, for this, I get to actually pull out the DMG. We're going to do a monster reaction roll, okay? And this is going to be against the charisma of course, the highest, most charismatic character we got here is, these guys are probably, they may have spread out a little bit. We're looking over here, looking over here. All right. Yeah, sure, by the time that happens. Okay. And what's going to happen is we're going to go see what the reaction roll. Of course, if it's a negative reaction roll, there's a fight about to happen. If not, then hey, we'll see what happens. Yes. All right, so these are nothing like rolling 2 6s. All right, this is the best you can possibly get as far as a reaction roll is concerned. The dragon, well, the skeleton of this dragon. He looks towards the elf, and he says, because these guys are already on guard. They just went instant, weapons hot. Wait, why would? Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Actually, no, that's the one. Okay, so yeah, no, they didn't actually do anything. Okay, so cool. So what's going to happen is, they stay their hand because it's not immediately attacked. It takes time to coalesce, and as it's doing those, the dragon skeleton goes, "Friend elf, at last you have come to me." Of course, elf's gonna be like, "What?" Coalesce, and it sees, I see you are worthy. You are all worthy. My time has passed. I am no longer. But this, my envoy, my voice, beseeches you. Find my treasure. Find my home. It has been defiled. I know this, and now so do you. And at that, it collapses, and as it breaks apart, a scroll falls out of its mouth. Don't ask me how it was being held in place, because drones don't have flesh, but it did. And it turns out that is a treasure map to its hoard. And actually, thankfully, I have some treasure maps that I'll be choosing from later on, because treasure maps are really fun. Those are basically more or less a side adventure that these guys can take if they ever end up out of this dungeon. All right. Because the treasure is, of course, not here. I will, of course, randomly determine in and around where it'll end up being, and that's where that gives opportunities to do like overland travel and hex crawls, for lack of a better term. That was actually really good. Cool. Okay, so these guys unfortunately have only one way to go. All right, now again, why am I closing this? Why am I closing this? We're not done yet. Okay. 1 to 50? 51 to 100. Straight ahead or back the way they came? Because, they got a treasure map. They might actually, let's discuss. do they take up on the treasure? Not today, but I know that eventually they will. As far as which way they're going to go. They're going to go that way, or they're going to go all the magic is gone for this. By the way, they may be able to get some of the crystals are worthless. It actually wasn't a dragon skeleton or a lich or anything like that. It was a living statue that was programmed to give up the treasure map or attack the characters depending on the reaction roll, and then what would the actual what would have happened. But I'm glad that kind of didn't happen that way. That was neat. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, 1 to 50. Yes. All right. Cool. I like doing that. Yes. Okay. So they are going to go that way. Now this is actually kind of cool and sort of, I'm not going to say sad for me, but we'll find out. Okay. So the characters, the party is going to traverse to room C. All right. Once again, we have characters. Some time has elapsed. Nothing occurred. They do see this. They don't really see the spiders because crab spiders have this thing about they camouflage themselves. So they're sort of they blend in to the environment, right? At least for they camouflage to the stone. So they're just chilling. They're ambush hunters. You know, they can't get anywhere because the portcullises are down. These guys kind of look this way. They see a long hallway. They look this way. You see that it goes off. They can't really tell anything else. There are no spot checks or anything like that. These guys are just hidden. All right, cool. So we are now to the wacky room. The wacky room, and there's no other way to really describe this. And this may be, I figured it would be a relatively possibly short episode. They could have gotten this way and then gone, but this is going to be a relatively short one because I know at this point in time, as soon as they enter this room, I'm going to have to stop it from here, and we'll see you in the next one, but not yet. Alrighty. Okay. Now, we're going to listen at the door. You know what? I'm going to use all the things that they come across this door. It is, correctly, it's a wooden door. Okay, so it's it looks, not plain, but it's a nice door. Well made, quality wood. There are carved symbols, and I know none of these guys can actually read those symbols, so I'm not really worried about that. Now, what I have done with my characters is I have actually done it to where there are one-page opens. I took some cues from the layout for Old School Essentials, so that way I just have pretty much everything right there. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to listen at the door. So hear noise, as it were. Wait, hear noise is just a D6. I got two. Hear noise, yeah, I got 2 on the die. Anything? As far as he knows, there's no sound whatsoever. He's going to check, see if it's locked. It is. I know it is. So he's going to he's going to check for traps right there. And his check for traps, he's got, he's boosted up, so he's got at least a percentage. As far as he can tell, it is not trapped. It is locked, so we're going to try to open lock. All right. We've got a 20% chance to open lock. Sure. 19. Okay. All right. So he manages to open the lock. Now, he's going to enter the room, and one of the first things that he notices as they, once they file into the room, and it's kind of hard to appreciate, the room itself is about 10 foot, and as they open up the door, when the torches kind of fill the room with light, what they see before them, straight ahead, is a scene. It is a mural painted in the most realistic fashion. It's an amazing. The craftsmanship is phenomenal. The elf, however, yeah, of course. Whenever he looks down, he notices that in a spiral pattern, there seems to be like something carved into the stone. And as everybody else is just admiring this painting, we'll get to there in a second. I'll talk about it. The corners are kind of like the corners of the room. I don't know. It's like columns, sort of nested into the corners. There's a word for that. I don't really know. It's a really nice room. It's clear otherwise. At each of the pillars, there are there's a patterned rune. None of them can read that particular language, so I don't have to worry about doing all that fun stuff. But as they're examining the room, it's gonna take it takes a whole a turn. Yeah, cool. Nothing else comes out. As they're looking down and looking at all the things and admiring the room itself is immaculate. There's no dust, no nothing. The ceiling, it's very. I need to start drawing these rooms so that way I can flash images up, just so you can see roughly what my mind's eye sees. But anyway, it's the walls are the walls to the other side are blank. There's nothing there. It's just they're painted like an off-white or whatever. One of these days I'm gonna draw it out. But by the time that the elf realizes what's happening, it's too late. There's this resounding crash as right at the door, a wall slides down, blocking the exit. The door itself slams shut. You hear a distinct of it locking back up again, and there is a spiraling flash of light as all the runes on the floor kind of just they end up. There's a circle of white light, spiral of white light, and then whoosh, everything goes blindingly white, and suddenly there are sounds. Now I'm not sure what sounds occurred, so what we're going to do is see y'all next time. In the next episode, I will go into what actually occurred in the room and why they are currently hearing that. All right. Well, anyway, I've been Mr. No One. This has been Monsters and Mazes, and I'll see y'all next time. Later.